Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
It's really wonderful to have all of you here today at the Meditation Museum. And you've already met Diane, but it's a very special honor to have her here today with us. But I will go ahead and do her introduction anyways for those of you who have probably not met her. So Diane is very passionate about connection, and she facilitates the journey within for spiritual seekers. She's a heart-centered success coach, a teacher, an author, a TV host, and founder of the Be Love Principles. And she combines traditional coaching techniques with deep and also become more clear, calm, and confident. Diane has a bachelor's degree in mass communications, an MBA, and also several healing and coaching certifications. She's a student of the Enneagram and also a Course in Miracles, and her first book, How to Choose Love When You Just Want to Slap Somebody, that was published in 2014. So let us all welcome Diane with a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate this. I appreciate those of you that were able to be here in person. Welcome to those of you that are watching online. Whether you're going to watch here with us live or you're going to watch this later, it is my intention that this serves you. I am so appreciative to my friends here at the Meditation Museum. And I do want to make sure we give them a round of applause. Sister Jenna, Antonio, Santusha, all the sisters who helped do this. As wonderful as this facility is, and I've been here blessed to teach here many times, this and also at the Virginia, when there was a Virginia location, it is amazing to me. Everything that goes on behind the scenes to offer these programs to you. And if you have had the blessing of seeing Sister Jenna on multiple venues, she's been doing so many programs, there is such a passion to give you what you need anytime, but especially what we've been going through the last few months. Actually more than a year now, right? So 18 months. I have given this program before, but never in COVID. So I know several of you have seen me before. You know I'm a hugger. So they've told me I cannot come down. I have to stay here. But you know what I'm doing. The exercises that I have traditionally used to teach this, I had to alter because we can't do group exercises the way that I did them. I'm bringing all this up for a purpose. When we are presented with these challenges, we always have the opportunity to shift, to pivot, to go deeper into what we're here to do. And what I've found is my understanding of the Be Love principles has actually been enhanced and deepened by what we have to do. Is that the way I would have chosen to do it? Quite frankly, no, that's not how I would do it. However, what I have found is when people consistently practice these Be Love principles that we're going to talk about, what you find is that you become clearer about who you are, what you want to do, your sense of peace increases, your confidence increases, and I actually was led to do a case study that shows this kind of data. We'll talk about that in a minute. One of the things that I did want to mention, first of all, let me ask, how many people meditate, even a little bit? Okay? And I bet we've got some meditators at home as well. The very first day you ever sat down to meditate, did you have like a nirvana experience? Did you levitate? It takes a little practice to do anything. The Be Love principles is also a practice. Just like meditation, you will get the greatest benefit if you commit to a practice. And I'll explain to you how we did it in the case study and got amazing results. I also want to say, I really truly believe that meditation is what's going to save our world. I think that finding the time, the space to go within, and this is just one way to do it, understanding through meditation how to come from that loving foundation. It changes each one of us, changes our family, our community, and the world. It is that important. It helps us stop and think and talk to each other. It helps us see each other as humans, as one, not the separated situation that many of us deal with today, right? So this is really vital stuff. I really appreciate that you have spent this time on a Saturday afternoon to come learn it. I guarantee you that this is life-changing. And it's not because it's mine. I don't know what to call myself, so I said I'm the founder of the Be Love Principles, but the principles kind of found me, is exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. Like many of you, I spend a lot of time in meditation. I've been meditating probably for over 25 years now. Certainly where I meditate, how I meditate now is different than when I first started. And when my meditation a few years ago, I was consistently saying, show me how to serve. Show me how to serve. Show me how to be an instrument of peace. So, because I thought that sounded pretty cool, quite frankly. I'd been studying St. Francis, and I thought, well, that's a cool thing to ask. My little ego thought that. So I was in meditation in a group one day doing an exercise, and we were instructed to go inside and to ask this question: love, what would you most have me know today? Now, that's a question that I journal on almost every day. To me, in that context, love is the intelligent, creative, expansive energy that creates universes. It's what beats my heart and yours. It's what makes the flowers bloom, what makes the tides come in and out. It creates galaxies. You can call it God, source, universe, whatever you want. To me, it's love, right? And I really want to emphasize the intelligence of love. These human bodies are miraculous. They're miraculous. Birthing galaxies, that's miraculous. If an energy can do that, they could probably help me figure out where to file my taxes, who do I need to talk to about cleaning my gutters. I mean, it's intelligent. It's intelligent. So I asked that question, love, what would you most have me know today? And I immediately heard, and I mean heard, be love. And then I was sent on this, it's hard to put words to it, but it was a visualization. It was an experience. It came, I describe it as a divine download. But there was a series of scenes, and I was given 4 ways to be love. 4 ways to be love in the world. After that, to be quite honest with you, I was a little shocked. Like many people I now know who've had these kind of experiences, I was disoriented. I actually got sick for about a week. 7 to 10 days, I couldn't speak. I mean, I literally couldn't speak, which I realize now was perfect because I couldn't go to my girlfriends and say, oh my gosh, this crazy thing happened, what do you think? And let anybody talk me out of what God had given me. I sat with the experience. I asked, what do I do next? What do I do next? So let's meet the principles. Oh, my clicker works, yay. Okay, here we go. So here's the principles. Greet everyone with an open heart without an agenda. See the divine essence in everyone. Forgive quickly, completely, and unconditionally. And remember, you never left the light of the all. Now, if you're here with us in person, you've got a little bracelet that has a website on it that has all these things there. I know there was information in the Eventbrite for people that are online, and they can absolutely go to beloveprinciples.org and you can get this information here. No problem. See, I saw the light just like this. How cool was that? but still, what do you do with this stuff? I mean, I'm a grandmother. I've got my own business. I'm married. I got kids. I got a cat to take care of. What am I supposed to do with these? I did not know. Or I should say more directly, my ego didn't know. But the same intelligence that gave me these, for all of us, knew exactly what to do. So I started going inside. And one of the things, we'll talk about this later, one of the things that I did, and I had not told anybody at this point, a couple people, Sister Jenna was one of them actually, but I hadn't made a big splash of this because I didn't know what it meant. I took one of these per week. So when I was first trying to figure out what was going on, I decided, and I would journal about it, I'm going to greet everyone with an open heart without an agenda. I didn't even know what that meant, to tell you the truth. I had to keep going inside. What does it mean? What does it mean to see someone else without any preconceived notions, without seeing what their bumper sticker said, without seeing, what clothes they're wearing, just without anything? How could I meet them love to love? Just love responding to love. How could I do that? I had to practice it. I practiced all of these, and we're going to do some exercises today so you get an idea of what I did and how I started working with clients. I've also taught this in a 3-day workshop for Unity of DC, actually. I've taught workshops at the Meditation Museum on this. Never like we're going to do it today because I have more information than I ever had. About December 2019, I got these in May 2018. And in December 2019, I started using them. I've been practicing them. I had done some classes. I'd done them for the Meditation Museum as well. And I knew people were getting results. I certainly knew I was getting a lot of results. And in my meditation in December, I hear, do a case study. Do a case study on the principles. I'm laughing because I don't know how to do a case study. I've been out of school since the 70s. What do I know about a case study? The last time I had done any kind of research was actually in 1997 when I did my master's thesis. And it sure wasn't on anything like this. I didn't know where to start. The reason I'm telling you this is because you have the same source of intelligence. You have access to the same one that I did. My head didn't know what to do. I mean, I could have gone to YouTube, I guess. I could have Googled it. But instead, I went inside and said, show me what you want me to do. And I was actually told exactly how to do it. I was told to create a survey that had 8 criteria on it. We're going to look at that in a second. I was told to put a notice in my newsletter that I'm going to do. If anybody's interested in participating in a Be Love Principles case study, let me know. And I was also told to reach out to a couple people. Now, I was hoping to have 5. I ended up with 14. And I think I interviewed maybe 16, 18 in total, because this is a lot. You'll see in a second, there was a lot of commitment to this. So again, just blind faith, doing as I'm guided, that intelligence that's beyond me, that's beyond you, that knows the whole picture. Now, at this point in December 2019, we didn't know what 2020 was. We just thought it was a cool new year, right? That's all we thought then. We didn't have any idea what was going to go on. So I was guided to do this case study, and here's what it entailed. It ended up to be women, although I've got many men that have used this, by the way. Age 37 to 72. Some people were working, they had little kids at home. Some people were grandparents and they were retired. Some people were single, some people were divorced, some people were married. It was all kinds. They were of all kinds of different faiths, by the way. One of them, actually, I had met in October 2019 when I did the Be Love Principles class at the Meditation Museum in Virginia. So that was kind of cool. They all knew of me somehow because they were on my list. Some of them had seen me speak. Some of them had read my book. Some of them were clients. But they were a really nice cross-section. I'm trying to get out of the way so you guys can see this. And I'm sure we can send you the slides if you need it. So here's what they needed to do. They had to complete a pretty intensive survey, pre and post study. They had to agree for 3 months every week to practice the principles 5 days out of 7, and they had to do a survey of what was going on for them that week. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. They got 3 sessions with me. So I did a pre-study interview, and then they had 3 sessions. Roughly, it was in the middle, in the beginning, maybe a third in, 2/3 in, and then we had an exit interview. But they had 3 coaching sessions, which is how they were paid for this, right? This was the way I gifted them. And this is the thing that was really interesting. They were given very, very little direction. And that is what I was guided to do. The whole purpose, I knew how I was using the principles. I knew how my clients were using the principles. But I had never just handed them to people and watched them for 3 months to see what they were going to do. So, for example, we had these 5 Zoom sessions. The first session was simply, here's the principles, here's the criteria, here's what I'm asking you to do. Go do whatever you want to do. Just however you are led to practice. Go ahead and practice. And then after we had been going in there for a while, there was one Zoom session where I asked them, and all this was guided, by the way. I didn't make any of this up. This is what I was told to do. To apply the principles specific to relationships. Apply the principles to your health, or any health, which turned out to be a pretty good idea on Spirit's part. Apply it to career. Apply it, they just were different areas. That was it. That was it. They did not know each other. A couple of them knew each other, but it wasn't like we gathered in a group. It wasn't like we did anything like that. Now, here's what I want to make sure you see. January, February, March 2020. 18 months later, it's almost hard to remember. But in January, everybody was still excited, woohoo, we got a new decade, had an election coming up, there was lots of stuff going on, and then we just started hearing about something overseas. And then by February and March, started getting closer, started on the West Coast, remember that, and then New York, then everywhere. I know that I was supposed to go to Assisi, actually, to walk in the footsteps of St. Francis and St. Clare. What happened in Italy? Nobody was going anywhere. Nobody was going anywhere. So I think the timing of this to me is absolutely divine. Absolutely divine. Because if you have a tool that helps you be clear, calm, and confident, man, here's the time frame that you would very much like to be a part of, right? So let's look at what happened. Now remember, they're completing a survey every week for 3 solid months, leading up, hearing about what's going on. March is when the lockdown started. I'm from Virginia. In Virginia, we physically locked down in early April. But this is all when nobody knew what was going on. We just saw the images on TV. So here's what we got. These are results for the group. Individually, we had everybody actually went up in some way. Some people went way up. Some people went a little bit up. Everybody went up. But this is as a group. Now look at this. Self-love, 14%. They felt they loved themselves 14% more. What would your life look like if you had 14% more self-love? How would you think? How would you act? How would you treat yourself differently? This is not insignificant. Relationships. Okay, now this one was very interesting to me because in my group, just like with all of us, we were hearing lockdown is coming, and I had some people that were like, yay, I get to be home with my family, and then I had people that were like, oh, I got to be home with my family. Well, how am I going to school my kids? How am I going to take care of my elder parents that are in a different state? How am I going to work? Am I still going to have a job? I mean, we were scared. And still, relationships went up. That was amazing to me. Now look at, this is incredible. in the point in history where everything is uncertain, the people who practice this felt they were 60% more clear on who they were and what they were here to do. To me, that was, I even called a friend of mine that was a scientist who knows how to run these things, and I said, help me run these numbers. I think something's wrong here. No, this was absolutely, these numbers are rock solid. Their happiness. Who's happy in a pandemic? That went up. Sense of peace. That's tremendous. I'm going to come back to health in 1 second because there is a caveat I need to tell you about that. Life situation, 17%. And then spiritual connection. Now these people, if they're in my community, just like if you're here in person or if you're following us online, you got a spiritual connection. You're interested, you're spiritually curious. And for that to go up, 29%, I thought was absolutely fantastic. Now let me say a second about the health. The health stayed 0. So in my group, I had one person who had she was severely immune compromised. And she was frightened, right? Of course she was. She also had lung issues. I had another lady, pretty young lady actually, who about 5 months before the study had had a massive heart attack, had almost died, was very tenuous health. We also had someone in there that I did not know until later had addiction issues. They had addiction issues. So what happened with the health is it didn't change. And I still think, given the time period, that's pretty impressive that it didn't go down. And again, this was an aggregate. What I found was, as I have the data, because I'm going to put this in a new book, I have the data per week. So I know per week what the group's doing, and I've gone back and made notes what news was hitting it 1 week, right? When were we seeing those images from Seattle and New York? And what did that do to the psyche? What was interesting is as this and this kept improving, everything seemed to calm down for everybody. The addiction thing was really interesting to me because I had a couple people in there who were healthcare providers in some way or form. One was retired, one was active. It was interesting to me. They were obviously experiencing this in a different way than a lot of the other rest of us were. The folks that had some addiction issues, most of them had addiction issues in their family. So now here, they already, if you know anything about addiction, that can certainly make for some tenuous family relationships. And here they're going to be in a house with this person. That was another thing I was so impressed, that the relationships increased even after these situations. And what these folks told me was just how much more loving and kind they were toward their loved one that had these issues. That I thought was really interesting, and actually this was clients that I work with that I'm actually looking to find a way to bring this to addiction clinics, especially in the family support systems. So I was pretty impressed with that. And to tell you the truth, I sat on that data for months because just like all of you, I was going through a pandemic. I wasn't interested in crunching numbers till I had to do a big presentation last fall, and that's when I was like, oh man, look what this does. Here's some of the comments. Now remember, these folks are living through a pandemic just like you. And they were not all in my local area, by the way. They were not international. They were all on the East Coast of the United States. I feel calm and less fearful. I notice small things in life going my way or just better for me. I feel more gratitude. I would be excited to get that result after 3 months anyway, but in light of what was going on, I just was amazed at this. I love this one. I have more confidence, less ego, calmer relationships, more peace, etc. I can find more calm in situations and relationships because of understanding the Be Love principles. This, to me, this is just amazing. This was just amazing. On this screen, this was one of my medical ladies. So she's used to she's used to reports, she's used to bulleting things. So I always had really beautiful reports from her. On the surveys I had them fill out in those categories, they always had room for notes. And some people didn't write notes. Some people wrote literally half a page because they really wanted me to understand and they wanted to document what was going on. So look, this is the one that said, I love this. Not only did she benefit, but her family and friends benefited. That's what I mean. We are like these tiny little pebbles. And when we are operating on a foundation of love, those ripples of love, they just keep going out. Non-judgmental and more active listening more consistently. That is how fantastic is that? Able to see and feel, I think, the divine spark in others. We're going to go through that in a second. Have a new perspective on being love. Now, my belief system happens to be that we are all unique sparks of the divine. That's what we are. We're pretending we have these little outfits on. You got an outfit and you got an outfit. And I got outfits. These are our little outfits for this trip. But we are all one in that sea of love. We are all part of the oneness. And that was actually part of what I experienced in that vision. That to me was absolutely astounding. And I love this last one. Just connecting with any of the principles, even for 30 seconds, immediately enables this shift inside of me from human consciousness to spiritual consciousness. We were having a conversation, these lovely ladies in the front, before you all came in. You know, there's no going back to normal. There's no going back to normal. We are creating a new normal. Do we want to be in a place that's more loving, more kind, more compassionate, less judgmental towards ourselves and others? Or do we want to keep doing what we've been doing? I know what I'm going to vote for. I know what I'm going to vote for. So what I thought I would do is I want to take you through an experience of some of these principles so you get a taste of what you can do. On that Be Love Principles website, there's worksheets, there's a meditation, there's all kinds of free resources for you, including interviews and things, but I just want to give you a taste. So I want you to pull out your journals, and if you're joining us from home, please have your paper and pencil ready. Get your journal there. So here's what I want you to do. For right now, I just want you to think of something, someone, and it could be you, by the way, that's just irritating you. You feel challenged, you feel triggered is a word that I use, you feel resentful, you're doggone mad about it, whatever it is. Just think of that, and you can put a word, 2 words on your paper. Nobody's going to see this but you. I just want you to know what it is you're thinking about. Because some of us, quite frankly, have more than one that we could pick. So I just want you to pick one. Even with a beautiful, loving group that comes to the meditation museum, right? We all have more than one. Now, you got your little note of what your event or your person, whoever it is going to be, whatever it is going to be. I want you to just think on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 is not at all. 10 is, yes, everything is peachy keen. How much have you forgiven that person, that event, that challenge, whatever it is? 1 is not at all. 10 is, yep, I'm totally over it. And if you're totally over it, quite frankly, you probably wouldn't have put it on your paper. So it's probably going to be under 10. And again, nobody sees this but you. Nobody sees this but you. Okay, and you at home, you want to do this as well. Okay. Everybody got something? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take these one by one. The first one is greet everyone with an open heart without an agenda. If you're here in person, you had the opportunity to get a mirror. You can use a mirror or your phone. If you're at home, grab a mirror, use your phone, the little selfie mode. One of the things that I figured out Y'all ever do stuff where you're doing something, you think you got it, and all of a sudden you go, oh, wow, I could do that a little different. Okay, so that's what happened to me. When I was practicing greeting everyone with an open heart, I thought, I got this. Yeah, I got the postman, I got the chick at the grocery store, even my husband, I know how to do this. And what I heard in a meditation was, why don't you greet yourself that way? That was new for me. So what I want you to do is I'm going to teach you a little technique. This is a heart math technique, the way that you connect with your heart. If it's comfortable for you, and I'm going to hopefully not hit my microphone here, you can put your hand on your heart, just gently touch your heart. The reason we do this is your consciousness goes to the part of your body that you touch. So if you get up from a table and you bump your knee, what's the first thing you do? Hold your knee. You mess up your elbow, what are you doing? You're holding it. So all this does is help you just connect to your heart. So now what I want you to do is shut your eyes. And I want you just to imagine you can breathe the energy of love in through the back of your heart and out through the front. In through the back, out through the front. You're just breathing that beautiful energy of love in through the back and out through the front. You are connecting to the divine wisdom within you. And we know from wonderful scientific studies that this is your seat of the most intelligence. This is where you're connected. Now, from this place, in this sacred space of your own heart, I just want you to say, show me how to greet myself with an open heart, without an agenda. And then look at yourself in the mirror or in your phone. Show me how to greet myself, and really look in your eyes. Show me how to greet myself with an open heart, without an agenda. Really look in your own eyes. It's as difficult for some folks. I know it was for me. How can you greet yourself? You are looking in the mirror, at least in the morning. Probably several times a day. You might be in the bathroom, you're going by a mirror, you're checking your hair, you're making sure you don't have broccoli in between your teeth. And what are you usually doing? You're usually judging yourself. How do I look? Is my hair okay? What if you could greet yourself with an open heart, without an agenda? Now, whether you are here in person or you're following along with us at home, take a couple notes. What's coming up for you? Is this hard? Is it scary? Was it easy? What do you notice? What do you notice? What's it like to look at you without the judgments? For some of us, I know certainly this was true for me, without guilt, without feeling, sometimes feeling ashamed for something I did in the second grade. All that baggage that we bring with us. What's it like to be able to see you without that? For you at home, make sure you're taking these notes, because you're going to want to look at these later. I know that you can't see it if you're joining us online, but there are some, it looks like we got some miracles happening in here in the room. We've got some people who are really looking deeply into their own eyes and seeing their true form. Just take a couple notes. Because this is something I'm going to encourage you to go back and do, by the way. And for this one in particular, I would encourage you. Did everybody who's here in person, did everybody have to drive to get here? Anybody else going on the Beltway home? What if you greeted everybody on 495 with an open heart without an agenda? Yeah, it gets real when you're in those kind of situations, doesn't it? But that's where it helps. I mean, I just drove a couple hours to come up here, and believe me, I wanted to be clear. I wanted to be calm. I wanted to be confident. Because even getting across the street here, I had to just amp up the confidence just to get into the parking lot. I would much rather do that from that place than being all panicked like I would have even just a few years ago. Or probably I just would have parked in Virginia and gotten an Uber is probably what I would have done. Probably. Okay. So let's move on to the next one, and you have a choice with the next one. Whether you're here or you're joining us at home, you can either use your mirror and do this for yourself, or you can think of someone. Now, if you have your phone with you, you might even want to pull up their picture. So just decide, for this next part of our exercise, do you want to work more with yourself or do you want to work with someone else? Doesn't make any difference because it's going to work the same way. So here's what we're going to do. See the divine essence in everyone. Sister Jenna has a beautiful meditation. I believe it's on her first CD. But I'm not sure. I know she has one where she talks about, who are you without your sex, without your race, without your education? Who are you? That's the divine essence. That's the divine essence. So when I was given this, see the divine essence in everyone and everything, the part of the visualization I saw included my grandson, who is the most perfect kid on the world. He's gorgeous. Follow me on Facebook, you'll see. He's absolutely stunning, right? But instead of seeing him in physical form, I actually saw this iridescent essence of just pure love. And what I saw was my heart open, and I saw this, it was like a circle of love bouncing between my heart and his. It's to see someone's essence means you're seeing them without the ego, and I mean their ego, right? So we all have people who have upset us, who have done something to us that we found upsetting, as we've done to other people, certainly not on purpose usually, right? That's our personality. That's not what this is. That's not what this is. This is the essence, the divine essence, that spark that you are. Everybody here is. Even that neighbor that plays his music really loud and parks his car in your driveway, he's got a divine essence. Everyone does. So now, if you're going to do yourself, pick up your mirror, look in your own eyes and say, show me my divine essence. I always like to connect to the heart first because that gets me out of my head. You just take a couple deep breaths like I showed you, in through the back, out through the front. And you can say, show me my divine essence. Or if you've picked someone else and you have a picture of them, or if you even want to picture them in your mind, show me, whoever it is, show me their divine essence. And we're going to do this without expectation. There's no test. You're not supposed to see anything specific. You just let your inner wisdom guide you. Show me the divine essence in whoever it is. And when you're ready, take a few notes on that, even a couple words. And you at home, I'm encouraging you to do the exact same thing. I know that this one, I started trying this on some people that I wasn't really sure had a divine essence. They do. We all do. And this person you're thinking of can be on this side of the veil or the other. They do not have to be here in human form. I found this particular one to be very healing with people in grief who might be upset with someone who's passed. If you do pick someone else, be sure to be looking at your own divine essence at times. Okay. Take a note if you need to. We've got kind of a big one coming up. Okay, I'm just checking our time. Good. So here's the one that's super simple, right? This is the one that's the piece of cake. Forgive quickly, completely, and unconditionally. So first of all, don't shoot the messenger. I was given this. This is, I didn't make this up because I wouldn't think this is nothing I could think up. I've studied a lot about forgiveness, and of course, I'm a student of A Course in Miracles. That's all about forgiveness. I'm going to encourage you to go into the intelligence of your own heart and explore this, and I will offer some perspectives for you. Forgiveness is a really delicate, it's a very delicate subject. And it can be the most freeing. If you talk to a mental health professional, which I am not, but when you talk to mental health professionals, and I have some of them in my programs, and I have lots of friends that are mental health professionals, the act of forgiveness is so freeing to the person who is holding the resentment, the guilt, whatever that is, right? You're the one that suffers. But this is really something that we all learn to do. I don't think that, I know certainly my parents didn't say, I'm going to teach you how to hold a grudge. But I learned, I learned how to do it because I watched them, right? And they did the best they could, and we're doing the best we can. When we're talking about forgiveness, I am not talking about condoning behavior. If someone has done an act and there needs to be a legal ramification, that's not what this is. That'll be taken care of in the proper venue. What I'm talking about is freeing you from those chains. A lot of time when we are holding on to an issue, a lot of time it's protection. So I will have folks in my practice, for instance, who have had a really traumatic and dramatic, actually, relationship breakup, right? So what do? Well, I'm never going to get hurt like that again, so they don't ever date or go out or put themselves out there. So they don't get hurt, but are they experiencing everything they could? Well, that's up to them and their path. But even when someone has had a physical altercation, it's very normal to really be hyper-focused on your safety and your protection, and I hope you are. I hope you are. And I hope that one day you might be able to move past that and be able to forgive that act for your benefit. Again, this is something that you explore on your own. There's lots of wonderful resources, but we are going to be looking at this in more depth in a few minutes. I'm going to take you through a process. What I want you to do right now is at the beginning I asked you to look at, to write down an event or a person and to note on a scale of 1 to 10 how much you've forgiven that person, place, event, whatever it is. What I want you to do now is just ask yourself, am I ready to forgive? Am I ready to forgive? That's up to you. That's up to you. It's absolutely understandable in certain circumstances why somebody wouldn't be, by the way. There is a healing process that comes through. What I would offer you is if there is a situation, and it might be one that's really raw for you right now, for example, you might ask yourself this question. I would encourage you to write this down so you can use it later. I would go in and say, show me what it would be like to be ready to forgive. What would it be like to be ready to forgive? If we were able to do group work in person, I actually have something called a walkthrough where I actually help people go through a scale of forgiveness. That's something we need to do in person when we can be a little closer together. But this will certainly help you. You notice how many times I'm having you rate things. That's just a way for you to understand where you are and where you're going. And I have to say, when I've done this exercise with people in person and I've had them up on the stage with me, I had one lady, I said, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much have you forgiven this person? And she said, -30. And I was on live stream too, so that was quite a thing yeah. But you don't have to do anything. What she found was through this process, she found she could move at least a little bit through it. She did get up right? You did get up. I have found that while forgiveness can be a gradual process, it can also be instantaneous. It can just be a part of grace. You can just wake up one day and it's not like that. That is between you and your heart. That's how you're going to work with it, and it could be different for each situation. Could be different. I'm here to tell you that this process, these Be Love principles, what I've found and documented is, first of all, you're not as triggered, you're not as resentful, you're not as judgmental. You're more able to go, he was having a bad day. I know a lot of times that with my poor husband, who knows, by the way, that I use him as an example. I have his permission because he's just such a great teacher for me. Things that I could really have a 3-week mad about. And he, by the way, has no idea what he's done at all. Because what he did was pretty much in my head. Like, he just walked across the room, and I'm like, so you think you're all that. And he's just walking. He's just walking. That's all he's doing. I'm mad. He doesn't even know. All that stuff is so much less. And I've seen it less with the people who use these principles. There is something magic in the way that they're constructed. And I am humbled and so excited to be able to be ambassador to help people understand the magic of these. So a lot of people will ask me, well, if this thing that I'm mad about was 30 years ago, I didn't forgive quickly and completely. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. There's no time and space, really. There really isn't a time and space. This is about the now, being present. You've all heard about the benefits of being present, I'm sure. If you are angry or resentful, are you in the present, or are you mad about something in the past? Or are you worried about something in the future? I've been mad about something that didn't happen before. Like, oh no, this person is in office and they're going to do X, Y, Z. I wasn't in the present. You get your best, I'll put it this way. My experience is my best information, guidance, whatever you want to call it, is when I'm here in the present, because then I'm hearing. That's what the whole meditation thing is about, clearing those neural pathways so that you can receive the guidance and live the life you're here to live. This forgiveness stuff, when you are stuck in a pattern, because that's what it is, right? Not now, but I can think of someone 20 years ago that literally, if somebody said their name, I was so terrified of this person, I would like seize up. I couldn't breathe. And the guy wasn't even there. That was what was happening. He wasn't doing anything to me, but my fear was. And when I was able to forgive, that totally changed. And he's never done anything to me, by the way. It was all the fear in my head. So this forgiveness is always for you, and it is always now. When you can catch yourself, that's when you can do the quickly, completely, and unconditionally stuff. And that you just get better and better, just like at meditation. You get better and better with that. So you're not going to be as triggered. And if you do, then you'll go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. And you can go back, okay? So we're going to do an exercise about this in a few minutes. So here is the last one. Remember, you never left the light of the all. For this, I want to give you an experience. So what I'd like you to do, if you're here in person, go ahead and finish your note and then put your pencils and papers down. I want you to be super comfortable. If you're joining us at home and hopefully not driving a car, I want you to be somewhere where you can be seated comfortably with your eyes shut. And we're going to do a little visualization. Excuse me 1 second while I get something to drink here. Okay. Now, part of the vision I had, I was in a darkened space, and I saw an outline of a door, just like a door like that. And I saw it crack open, and out spilled the light. Looked just like that, actually. Looked just like that. And I only saw just a little bit of it. It was so powerful. It was so encompassing, so loving, so... I just don't have words for it. I don't have words for it. It was almost overwhelming in my human form, this beautiful light of the all, but I understood in an instant, that's where we are. We are temporarily here, but that's where these spirits are. When they talk about the oneness, to me, this is what it is. We are all one with that beautiful spirit of light, and it is light, beautiful light. You will see light in various forms, right? In different types of spiritual literature. Did you know light referred to knowledge? Did you know light referred to knowledge? And think of it. We're beaming this. How does it work? I don't know. But I do know there are beams of light that are taking this event and going out anywhere on the planet for anybody that wants to see it. There is such power in this light, and that's what you are. You're part of the light. So I'm going to give you an experience of this. And this is something I do every day. Every day. So here's what. If it's comfortable for you, put your feet on the floor if it's comfortable. And make sure that as much as you can, have your shoulders relaxed, arms somewhere where they're comfortable for you. If it's okay for you to shut your eyes, if that's comfortable, go ahead and I encourage you to do that. I want you to imagine you are again breathing love in through the back of your heart and out through the front. Breathing love in through the back and out through the front. Breathing love in through the back and out through the front. Beautiful. Just relax. Just imagine that your shoulders are relaxed. Your chest is relaxed. Your belly, your hips, as you're just comfortably seated in your chair. You feel safe and secure. Feet on the floor, breathing in and out. Now, what I'd like you to do is imagine there is a beautiful beam of iridescent light gently coming down on your head. It cascades on the outside of your head, gently over your face, back of your head. And you're noticing that as this light is cascading over your head, that it's gently penetrating in your head as well. So you are literally feeling yourself being filled with the light of the divine. Good. Imagine that light is gently flowing down your neck, into the shoulders. You feel it cascading off your shoulders. At the same time, it's relaxing every muscle. And you realize that every cell in your body is being renewed and energized with that light of the all. Feel it gently flow down your chest and your back, relaxing, renewing, energizing, down into your belly, down into your hips. Feel it gently flowing down your legs, out your feet, so that you are experiencing yourself as light. Now, if it's possible, imagine that you're actually a column of light, beautiful iridescent light. Feel yourself as that column, energized with the divine essence. And that's who you really are. Now, see that column of light sitting within a larger column of light. Let it be about 10 feet all the way around you. So you are light sitting in light. You are light sitting in light. It helps me when I actually say that to myself. I am light sitting in light. I am light sitting in light. Sometimes it feels tingly. Sometimes it's like I can't even feel my body, not in a bad way, but in an expanded way. You are one with the light of the all. Just feel that for another minute. Make sure you're breathing in and out. And as you breathe, imagine that light that you are is just circulating all through. There we go. Okay, I'm just giving you a little taste of this. So what I want you to do now, gently start wiggling your fingers and your toes. Just be aware of your physical body. When you're at home or you're doing this, you can stay in that meditative state as long as you want. It's Saturday afternoon. I was afraid I was going to lose some of y'all right here. So we're going to come back. Just breathe in and out. Breathe love in through the back of your heart and out through the front. How'd that feel? Okay, I'm imagining that you're smiling under those masks. That's what I'm going with. Feels really good, doesn't it? Whenever I am going into what I think could be a tough situation, maybe even a confrontation, if I have to call one of those 800 numbers because like my washing machine is broken and I'm afraid I'm going to talk to a robot or something, I do that. I do that. I do that before I get in the car. I do that before a meeting, before I see a client. That is a beautiful way to remind your physical self who you really are. Did you like that? Yeah, that's cool. Then you're really going to love what's coming up. Okay. You're really going to love what's coming up. Okay. So let's do a little, I just want to make sure y'all awake. I got your back. So go ahead. Just do a little, there you go. There you go. Perfect. Make sure we're taking nice deep breaths. Okay. So that is the last one of these, and we are going to do another meditation, but I need to wake you up from this first. So how do you use the principles? What we did today so far is we looked at them individually. That's how I learned them. That's how I was led to learn them, as I wanted to be really familiar with each one. And then I put it in a process, and we're going to do that before you leave today. But you always want to ask your own inner guidance. This is one of the things that I found from my case study. There was a beautiful lady that was in my case study who worked somewhere downtown D.C. I don't know where she worked. Somewhere near, like, the Supreme Court building. She was, like, right down there. And when we had one of our Zoom calls, I was asking them, how are you guys using the principles? How are you remembering? What are you doing? So she would get off the train, and with every step to her office, she would recite one of the principles. And she said, isn't that beautiful? I never thought of it. She's embodying the principle. That's what she was doing. Had another lady that used it with yoga. How cool is that? I thought that was pretty cool. And the way they figured that out is they just said, what's the best way for me? So the lady that used yoga is, guess what, a yoga teacher. So you're going to have whatever's best for you. You're going to know, will it be beneficial for me to see these individually right now, together, whatever it works. There's plenty of times where I will pull out one principle, especially like, let me see the divine essence. If somebody is, could be acting in what my ego perceives to be a challenging manner, right? Because it's just my ego seeing their ego. Then I'll ask to see my divine essence and theirs. So that's one of the things. I actually use this as a prayer in the morning. So one of the things I do before I get out of bed, when I wake up, very first thing I say is thank you, because I woke up, so thank you. And then I pray, show me how to be loved today. Show me how to greet myself and everyone with an open heart, without an agenda. Show me how to see my divine essence and the divine essence in others. Show me where I need to forgive. I call that a forgiveness opportunity. Where are my forgiveness opportunities? And teach me to forgive quickly, completely, and unconditionally. And remind me I never left the light of the all. And typically that's where I'll take what I call light bath, where I reconnect with who I am, who each one of you are. You are the light. And to me, it looked exactly like that. Exactly like that. I don't know what it's going to look like for you. Use them in a meditation. I've had people who will meditate on each one of those. Some people will meditate for a whole week on one. You do whatever works for you. As affirmations. Journal prompts. Now, remember, the way that I got this was based on a journal prompt I've literally used for years. Love, what would you most have me know today? And believe me, 99.99% of the time I don't get stuff like this. Okay? It's like, call your daughter, forgive your husband, do this, whatever you have to do for work. I get very practical guidance, actually. But journal prompts, I found that in the case study, this is one of the ones that people really, really loved to use the most. So use it to address specific challenges. Now, you all know that my views are mine, right? They don't necessarily reflect the Meditation Museum. I see Santosh getting a little nervous about this. But I use these with COVID. Show me what's going on. What's my part here? What do I do? That's a situation I needed help with. And my guidance actually evolved as things have gone on. It's evolving even now. I used it with all kinds of things, with relationships, with finances. I did it with finances, and just the other day. People have done it with specific health challenges. Just what is it? Show me the divine essence in this. I don't wish anybody to be sick with anything. I mean, I would love it if we were all just riding unicorns, jumping over rainbows. To me, that would be like so cool. We're not there yet. So when I have had people who have had serious health issues and they've used this process, they were able to move past the fear and see the opportunity and the gifts that they just didn't see before. To me, that's priceless. I mentioned you can use it individually or as a process. And so what I want to do is give you an example of how to use it as a process. So take some deep breaths in, because I'm going to put you down again. All right, we're going to do this. And here's what I want you to do. Go back to that item that you had mentioned at the beginning where I asked you to rate it. Just have that in your mind, because we're going to do a forgiveness meditation. Now, if you're here or if you're watching, don't worry about writing everything down, because this will be available. You'll be able to watch this again, and I want you to be really present. But what I do want you to do is have in your mind whatever it is, who it was, whatever it is, doesn't make any difference to me. And you'll know whatever your number was. So I want you to get comfortable again, and this is going to last a few minutes. So be comfortable and be really secure in your chair. Okay, and you can have your, you were going to take some notes afterwards, but for right now, just whatever, if your journal's comfortable there, great. If not, put it on the floor, whatever you all want to do. Okay, here we go. Shut your eyes for me, feet on the floor. Arms comfortably in your lap. Whatever, this is really important that you're comfortable. What I want you to do for this one is we're going to start by lightly touching your heart. Just lightly touch your heart, and you can put your hand down in a minute, but I want you to really be coming from your heart. We're going to imagine you're breathing love in through the back, out through the front. Breathing love in through the back and out through the front. There you go. Breathe love in through the back, out through the front. Good. You can gently let that hand go to your lap now, whatever you want to do. With your eyes shut, I want you to bring to mind the person, the event, the challenge, whatever it is that you have that forgiveness opportunity with. Just lightly have it in your mind. From the sacred space of your own heart, silently ask yourself, show me how to see this person or event with an open heart, without an agenda. Just relax. No expectations. Whatever comes, comes. Now or later, you've done the asking. You will always be answered. Show me how to greet this person or event with an open heart, without an agenda. Good. Breathe love in through the back of your heart and out to the front. Now, bringing to mind this person or situation, again from the sacred space of your own heart, I want you to say to yourself, show me the divine essence here. Show me the divine essence here in this person or this situation. Trust you'll get exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. Good. Now, I want you to listen very carefully, eyes shut. If you are ready to forgive this person or this event, I want you to say, show me how to forgive quickly, completely, and unconditionally now. And if you're not quite ready for that, then just say, show me what it would be like to be ready. And I'll say that for you again. If you're not ready to forgive, which is perfectly fine, say, show me what it would be like to be open to forgiveness now. And if you are ready, show me how to forgive quickly, completely, and unconditionally now. Good. Be open and unattached. Now, I want you to imagine that you are back in that column of light. Feel that tingly energy all through your body. See yourself in a column of light like we did a few minutes ago. Feel the oneness. Feel the divine essence of who you are. Breathe it in. Feel it circulate up and down your body. You are the oneness. Now, if you are ready, allow that column to expand. Maybe it's 10, 20 feet all the way around you. You are in the column, you are of the column. You are in the oneness, and you are the oneness. If it feels good to you, bring the person that was your forgiveness opportunity into the circle with you. Only if you feel comfortable doing that. We are not condoning behavior. We're simply remembering what brings us all together and who we are together in the light. If you are forgiving yourself, bring that version of you into the light. Maybe it was you at a younger age. If it's a situation, bring a representation of that situation into the light. In the light, there's no judgment, There's only love. That is who you are. That is the truth. Imagine that light getting even wider. Let it encompass the room that you're in. See it spreading outside the buildings, across the streets. Let that light encompass anyone and everyone that you feel called to right now. Could be your home, it could be this room, could be the world. Feel that love spreading and connecting heart to heart. Include your pets, plants, anything that feels good to you. You are this light. You are the light of love. And so am I, and everyone. Take another nice deep breath in, and let your vision start to fade. Go ahead, wiggle your toes, your fingers. Now, I don't know about you guys at home, but I put these guys here in person through a little workout. So when you're ready, open your eyes, and you might want to shrug your shoulders, kind of do a little chair dance. That's a good one right there. This lady knows how to chair dance. Do a little chair dance. Here's what I want you to do. Put your hand on your heart. Think of that focus person, whatever that event was. Shut your eyes and say, where am I now? How much have I forgiven now? Scale of 1 to 10. And just write that down. Where am I now? And we'll get a chance to talk about this in a second. We've got one more cool thing to do. So that was a little snippet of how you use this as a process. What'd you think?
Interesting.
I wondered, as a matter of fact, I was doing a podcast one time. I was the guest on a podcast, and it was about the principles. And this guy said, aren't these kind of simple? And I'm like, yeah, they are. I think that's the whole design. What I've found is, I don't have that one up, but when I have gone in sequence, it's much easier for me to forgive somebody, including myself, if I've greeted them with an open heart, if I've seen their divine essence. It's made me more, it's easier for me then to see their actions separate from who they are. This is important stuff. We have big things we need to do as a community, as a planet, as a country. My opinion is we are never going to be able to do that if we see ourselves as separate. You're in that neighborhood, I'm in this neighborhood. You're in that political party, I'm in this political party. You live in that country, I live in this country. those are all like, it's convenient for tax purposes. I know if you live in Maryland or Virginia or New Jersey, or wherever you live, but we're brothers and sisters. That's what the Brahma Kumaris talk about, right? It doesn't make any difference where we are, and we need to see each other as the divine lights we are, to be able to help each other, to talk to each other. That's the biggest thing, is how about we talk to each other? That'd be cool. That would be like super cool. And this is a process that helps you do that. Any questions so far? I know, like, I just brought you out of something you might not, you still might be a little bit there. Any questions so far? And you'll have time in another minute or two. Do you need to wake up a little bit? I'm seeing a couple little, yeah, I do. Okay. So one of the things that I'm always asking in my guidance is, where do I go from here? What do I do? How do I serve? What do I do with the principles? How do I spread them? How do I become an ambassador for them? So this time, I guess it was the spring of 2020, where, we were all dealing with what we were dealing with. I was told to write a song about the Beloved Principles. I do not know how to write a song. I can't even read music. And ask my family, I cannot sing. So I thought, how are we going to do this? And I immediately saw my friend Sean Galloway. Does anybody know Sean Galloway? I actually introduced him to Sister Jenna. He's been on the Meditation Museum, or he's been on the America Meditating Radio Show. He was with us, I think, the last time we were at Peace Village, which is the beautiful community up in New York that the Brahma Kumaris have. Just a great guy. He has won this beautiful award. It's a Global Peace Song Award several times. He's got a beautiful song he wrote right after 9/11, actually, called I Choose Love. And that has been, the Dalai Lama's talked about it. It's a beautiful song. And I happen to know him. So I called him up and said, "What can we do this?" So he sat with it. He's a very spiritually connected guy. And I gave him all the Beloved Principle stuff, showed him a little video I have on the website, talks about how I got it, he knows what the things were. And we sat down, talked about it, and he said, let me sit with it and see what comes. And a tune came to him like that, some lyrics came. This is where he and I co-wrote. I switched the lyrics, we did that back and forth a little bit, because we both sat with our guidance and there was a couple things we needed to switch around. We did that. And then we created a video that we're going to show you in a second. What I want to tell you is that as a mechanism to spread the principles, we wanted to create a video that had lyrics on it so you could see what it was. And we also wanted it to be really reflective of the divine light. So to me, okay, so we're almost there. I don't know what that is. We're going to be there in a second, I think. Do you have the clicker or do I? Okay, no big deal. We'll get in a second. But what we did was for hours, sat with a video guy and chose the images you're going to see. And what I want to tell you that we were very deliberate. They're nature images. Because I wanted all of us, no matter where we live in the world, to be able to see our commonality. I didn't want us to see differences in ages or gender or skin color or anything like that. I just wanted it to be where I see the divine essence, and that is obviously in nature and in each of us. So let's watch that now. Can you see the screen? If not, I can sit down there.
Love, what do you most want me to know today? there are principles to post. I heard a voice say, greet everyone with an open heart, without an agenda. See their divine essence, and always remember, be love in these times of tears. Be love in the face of fear. Forgive quickly and completely, forever, unconditionally. Be love and know from the fall, you've never left the light of the all. Be love to everything you see. Be love and live in peace. Standing on sacred mountain, I feel my foundation rising up like a fountain as I sing my declaration, looking upon the new earth. Imagine my surprise, seeing love's reflection dancing in my eyes. Be love in these times of tears. Be love in the face of fear. Forgive quickly and completely, forever, unconditionally. Be love and know from the fall, you've never left the light of the all. Be love to everything you see. Be love, live in peace. Day by day, hour by hour, moment by moment, be empowered. Live from the light, the love you are, and shine from your heart. Oh, shine. Be love in these times of tears. Be love in the face of fear. Forgive quickly and completely, forever, unconditionally. Be love and know from the fall, you've never left the light of the all. Be love to everything you see. Be love and live in peace. Be love to everything you see. Be love and live in peace. Be love.
YouTube if you're ever interested in that. I think the images are very calming. I love Sean's voice. I would encourage you to follow him. He's that I Choose Love song is one of my favorites as well, but this is kind of my favorite. So I am so thrilled that you took the time to be here today, whether you were here in person or you were able to join us at home. I am really encouraging you to step up and be the love that you're here to be in this world now. We need you. We need you. It gets me, you can see. It gets me, it's this important stuff. And it works. It works. It works if you use it. Just like meditation. Sister Jen will be the first one to say, you don't do it once and go, hoo-hoo, I'm done. I'm a master. Never have to meditate again. That's not the way it works. That's not the way this works. Like anything, you will develop your own practice. Use them individually or as a process. I am so appreciative of you being here. I'm appreciative of the Meditation Museum and all the people I love so dearly that help make this possible. What questions do you have or observations? And I know it's a little bit difficult with our Mass, but we will, I'm sure we'll be able to hear you. If there's anything that you want to comment or say. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Can you speak a little bit about the workshops that you offer?
Okay, thank you. I do everything I can to promote them. So if you go to my website and sign up for a newsletter, you'll know a lot of them are like podcasts where I talk about it, TV shows that I'm on, or events like this. I am thinking at the beginning of the year to do like a group coaching around it where it'll be a little more intensive. But anybody out there that wants me to come talk about it, just call me. I'm happy to do it because I think it's so important. Thank you for asking about that. Yes?
I have a question
Yeah.
regarding one of the principles.
Yes.
The greeting everyone.
Open heart.
I'm just wondering, how do you protect yourself? Because I feel like there's a balance between greeting everyone with an open heart, but also, some people have an agenda for you. So what do you do? Like, what are some techniques that you use to protect yourself?
Okay, so that's an excellent question. Let me repeat it so everybody hears it. The question was, with the first principle, greet everyone with an open heart without an agenda. How do you protect yourself? Some people have agendas. Yes, they do. I'm just going to give you my opinion. I will always direct you to go into your own inner guidance. For me, what I have found is the more open and loving I am, the more open and loving I attract to me. The more fearful I go into stuff, and I had my PhD in fear for about 60 years, by the way, and I'm not even kidding. The attraction, you've heard like attracts like, right? Yeah. So the more open and loving I learn to be, and it's been a process for me, quite frankly, the less and less I have those kind of encounters. So the more I am coming seated from that foundation of love, it's almost like when I'm in that column, there's just nothing to be afraid of. Now, I do want everybody to be smart. I do want you to be smart, right? Listen to that inner guidance. But my experience has been to be in that light. That light helps me, I think. I know it helps me. Be in that column of light and then greet people from there. Now, is it always, we're not always on our unicorns, by the way. There are some people that the action appears to be less than loving. I am more able to move past what would have hurt me before. I now am much more, not 100%, especially with my poor husband, but with almost everybody else, I'm much more able to just see the human side versus the divine essence. And if I have a situation where I'm confused, then I go inside and say, what's happening? Show me what's doing. I'm always touching my heart. The heart-brain coherence technique, which is a heart math technique, is something that I really like. Do y'all know about that technique? You know about that? It's really wonderful. You can do this for as little as 3 minutes, by the way, and you can find out more at Heart Math Institute, but you put your hand on your heart, shut your eyes, you breathe, and you actually, the way they teach you to breathe is you breathe in and you exhale for a little longer. So you might breathe in 5 and exhale 8. And for 3 minutes, you bring to mind something that you feel deeply grateful for, you're appreciative, or you have compassion for. That biochemically creates it's like a different cocktail in your brain. And if you can hold that for 3 minutes, it actually brings your heart and your brain into coherence. And which is what meditation does too, right? So it helps you, this is just my opinion, it helps your intuition be higher, I think, helps you be more grounded, and it helps you make really heart-based decisions that you can then use your intellect to carry through on. Did that help you at all? Thank you for the question, because it was a really good one. I appreciate that. Any other questions or comments? Thank you for yours as well. Yes, sir.
I have 2 questions.
Uh-huh.
The first one is, when you're feeling discouraged,
Yes.
how do you go about being loved?
That's a great question. When you're feeling discouraged, how do you go about being loved? That was not far from where I was when I got this, by the way, right? So for me, and what I teach my clients and my students is, I don't want anyone to ever pretend they're not discouraged or pretend they're not mad or pretend they're not in grief. I want you to first honor where you are. Honor in this case, we're talking about discouragement. Honor, I'm feeling discouraged right now. I am with the feelings of discouragement. Actually, that's the way I would have you say it. Because when you say I am, what happens? You're kind of attaching to it. So for myself, I would recognize, okay, I am with that feeling of discouragement right now and feel it. Then I would actually take it through the process. You know, how can I greet myself without that discouragement? Sometimes when it's an emotion, I'll actually use the emotion. How do I greet this discouragement? Where's the divine essence in the discouragement? How do I forgive this? Is there even a forgiveness opportunity? And I always bring everything into the light. Everything into the light. And I always trust, and I think this is a real, this gets to the core of what you're saying, at least I hope it does. I always trust I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be for the lessons and opportunities I'm here to explore. So I don't beat myself up over it. Doesn't mean I'm not unhappy about it, because, you know, who wants to be discouraged or mad or upset? But I realize I have a choice. And that's where I say, show me how to be loved here. I'm always saying show me. Between thank you and show me, that's probably what I say the most. That's a great question. What's your second one? Did that help you?
It did, yeah, thank you, Diane.
And your second one?
Is, what's your take on the ego? Is it a help or a hindrance in being loved?
So the question was, what's my take on the ego? Is it a help or a hindrance on being loved? It's not often helped me in my quest to be loved. However, my current understanding, and I don't know about you guys, but what I believe now is not what I believed 5 years ago. Sometimes it's not what I believed 5 minutes ago. With the ego, because I am a Course in Miracles student, you know, we talk a lot about the divine self versus the ego self. To me, that is an aspect of myself that I can bring love to. When I am acting like a jerk, like I just kind of was a jerk, you know, some days you're just kind of a jerk. And I've had those days. That's never the divine part of me. That's my personality. That's my ego that is looking for attention, that is almost, this happens sometimes, quite frankly. Sometimes I'll be on my family calls it the love train. I get on the love train and I'm all happy and everything. And I think sometimes my ego goes, wait a minute, she forgot how good she is at worrying. Let's just remind her. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's turn on the news and let her get scared about something. That's what happens for me. And it's almost like I can see the little ego part of me going, yeah, did you hear that? Ooh, that doesn't sound good, does it? Your love's not going to help with that. It's almost like for me, I can hear two different sides. That's easier for me to recognize. Am I being loving or am I coming from my ego? And sometimes the easiest thing to do is if I've got what I think is an ego thought or I've got some kind of a question, who's asking that? Who's talking to me right now? Is it the divine part of me or is it my ego? And if it's my ego, is this helpful? Do I feel better or do I feel more constricted? That's something that helps me a lot. When I'm with feelings or I'm with a thought, am I constricted? To the way I understand it currently, at least my ego, loves for me to be more constricted. And I can actually feel it. My shoulders come like this. Sometimes I'm bent over. It's not easy to breathe. I don't feel like moving. I just want to eat junk food. It's like I'm constricted. When I'm in that place of love, it's just like what I was talking about before. There is this expansiveness. There's more creativity. I feel happier. And I'm more productive in a way that, that's actually really true for me. I'm much more productive. When I first got these, I didn't know what to do with them. And I thought, well, this like God made a mistake. I was in a big group and I thought, I bet he meant to give it to that chick over there because she looks pretty competent. I bet she would know what to do. Now, was that my ego? Was that my fear talking? Yeah, it was. And that poor lady, she just was sitting there minding her own business. She didn't even know what was happening. It was my ego. So I will say the ego helps me recognize opportunities I have to be more loving because it helps me know what I don't want to do. It helps me know what I don't want to do. But I'm not in favor of beating up yourself for being in your personality or ego. I think it's kind of cool that we're all the same and we have different personalities and we have different likes and we can serve each other in different ways. To me, it looks like this. Y'all remember a place, I don't even know if they have them anymore, called Baskin and Robbins? You had like 33 flavors of ice cream, but it's all ice cream. All right, we're all love, but we're all flavors of love. That's it. You're just a flavor of love. Some days I feel tutti frutti. Some days I feel rocky road. But I'm still a flavor of love. That's the way I look at it. And that's how I look at you guys. Not that you're like giant ice cream cones, but you get what I'm saying. Did that help you at all, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Those are good questions. Anything else? Then I think we have a message from the Meditation Museum before we leave today. I think we do. Yes, we do. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Thank you.
That was wonderful, wasn't it? Yeah. I was in there listening to and practicing whatever you
Thank you.
with you there. So thank you all for coming, and I really enjoyed this session myself.
Thank you.
We're here every Saturday from 1 to 3. So some of you have been here before, are coming here regularly. So please take advantage of that. This space is beautiful. As soon as you walk in, you feel that meditation power that has gone into this space. We have some books and CDs back there that you might want to take a look at. It's all guided meditation CDs, and there are wonderful meditations. Sister Jenna's and many other senior teachers that we have in Raj Yoga meditation. And once again, if you have any questions, you can have, as you leave, you can leave with a blessing card, and also there is Diane's business card there as well, so you can take one as you go. If you have any questions for Meditation Museum, you can email us at meditationmuseum@gmail.com. And Diane has her information on the card if you need to reach her. So thank you once again, and we'll hope to see you again next Saturday. Thank you.